Good morning. My name is Dr. Paula Henry. I'm a family physician, a member of the Working Party on Climate Change and the Environment. I bring to you today greetings from Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean community. My topic today is climate change and its impact on health. Before we begin, it is important that members understand the geography of our region. We are several island member states, geographically located south of Florida, east of Central America, and north of South America. Embedded in the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, we are separated by our maritime spaces. Thus lies our first challenge. On October 19th and 20th of this year, we saw torrential rainfall in Trinidad and Tobago, where 1 month's worth of rainfall was deposited on the island in 48 hours. None of the other island states is immune to such rainfall patterns, thus leading to flash flooding and its consequences. And by that I speak of trauma and the post-traumatic stress syndrome experienced by the exposed persons whenever there is torrential rainfall. And of course there's the injury of the landslides, the loss of personal possessions, livestock and crops. Persons are indeed stripped of everything. And what happens when the rivers break its bank and overflow? We see an increase in the diarrheal illnesses as there is contamination of water supply. And what do we see downstream? We see an increase on the zoonoses after the floods, a rise in dengue fever, chikungunya, and Zika. Not to mention, of course, the negative impact of flooding. And I speak of food security and food security versus nutritional security. Why? Because the flood waters leach the vital nutrients out of the soil, resulting in a paucity of the nutrient content in the fruit and vegetables. And you may ask, what is the Caribbean doing as a nation to mitigate against the impact of climate change? And I remind you again that we are constrained by our geography because we are not easily connected. First of all, there is CARFA. CARFA is the Caribbean Public Health Agency. CARFA meets regularly with the heads of government of the CARICOM region, who meet to discuss policy changes and implementation for climate change in the region. And then, of course, there is the CCCCC. This is the organization of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center. That center coordinates and focuses on climate change adaptation. They collect data. They are involved in the early prediction of natural and man-made disasters, with an emphasis on the small island states, because it is these states who are particularly prone to the disastrous effects of climate change. It would be amiss of me not to mention two of our very devastating hurricanes. In September 2017, Hurricane Irma completely destroyed the island of Antigua and Barbuda, 62 square miles, with 1,800 inhabitants had to be completely evacuated onto the island of Antigua. And then in November of 2017, There was Hurricane Maria that completely destroyed the island of Dominica. And while we are struggling to put into place all these different agencies, we are actually not arriving at the point where implementation is leading to the appropriate help that we need for our citizens. I thank you for listening.